Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Lap Down. I am Jamie. I am your acting host for today. Uh, Greg's got some stuff going on, but that's all right. So we're just going to get right on into it, guys. We made it to the championship weekend. How are we feeling on this championship weekend?
Fantastic.
Let's,
Can't complain. Looking forward to some good racing this weekend.
yeah, Eli, you had some tapping going on over there. Is that just 10 minutes of excitement that we're in the champion final weekend of the NASCAR season?
Nah, I'm trying to clear up my daggum Gmail. It's, you're trying to send out emails and it's saying your mailbox is full and all that crazy junk. But, everything else is going great over here. It's pure joy, man.
Bam, how about you, man? How are you feeling going into this final race weekend?
I'm intrigued on how this is going to go.
Yeah, definitely a lot of storylines and things that have been going on and developing amongst the different series. And speaking of, we have some Sam Mayer news for those who haven't seen it. There's a suspension for him, and there's some drastic effects to it. Ryan, go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, so following the NASCAR Xfinity Series elimination race at Martinsville Speedway, Sam Mayer, who was eliminated from the Xfinity Series playoffs as he was in a must win entering the race, ends up completely junking the 27 of Jeb Burton and then continuing to insult him afterwards in the media as well. And NASCAR took that as, he definitely did that intentionally, and I don't think there was any denying it. So he will be serving a one race suspension for the Phoenix finale, which will have ripple effects throughout most of the Xfinity Series field. Most notably, he was going into the Phoenix race fifth in the drivers' points with a great chance to try and claim that top, that kind of best of the rest in the playoffs to earn the highest amount of points. Now, obviously, he is not going to be able to defend that and will probably drop about, my guesstimation is about 4 or 5 spots he's going to fall minimum.
Yikes.
Yeah, so as I points were tight, but he was going into Phoenix with a lead, and now he's gonna absolutely plummet. But him being out of that car will open up some opportunities for some other drivers, as the Ford will have to obviously fill that seat, and they have announced the drivers who will be shuffling around rides to fill those seats. So. Ryan Sieg, the normal driver of car 35 for 39 for his family team, will be moving over to the 45 for the Haas factory team to
41, you mean, Ryan?
Did I not say 41?
No, you said 45.
Oh, yeah, the 41 car for Haas factory team. So he will be piloting that car to try and get at the top 5 in the owners championship on points. I don't believe he can do any better than that. So Ryan Sieg will be moving over for that one. Then Kyle Sieg will be moving over from the 28 at his family team to pilot his brother's now vacated 39 car for that Phoenix race. So theoretically an upgrade of equipment, as the 28 car has not been anywhere near the pace of the 39 car most of the year. So I'm curious to see what Kyle Sieg, the younger brother, is able to do when he has kind of the full focus of the family team behind him. And then also announced earlier today, we had Nick Lights, kind of a journeyman driver in the back half of the field, who will be taking over that 28 car. Nice to see him actually getting a chance to drive, because I don't believe he had any other opportunities to race in this Phoenix race. So nice to see him getting an opportunity to go to the track and actually show what he's got. Kyle Sieg, again, getting the chance to see what it's like to have the full family team resources behind him. And then Ryan Sieg getting to actually race for a top spot in the points. So
Yeah, and at the same time, that is also a major hit to like the Haas factory team. Like when we're just talking about like, the overall team points as well. Um, so just a bonehead move by Sam Mayer. Bam, do you got any opinions on that?
It was a stupid decision by Sam Mayer to do what he did and to reiterate his opinion on in an interview was not the right way to go about it. It's almost like the Austin Hill scenario at Talladega, but he got caught and he got suspended for it. Austin Hill didn't.
Yeah. JP?
I I am very mad at him for it. On a personal level, very disappointed to hear the news that he got suspended. He seemed like a nice guy when talking to him, like I have gotten to, and for him to go and do something like this, it's an unsafe move, and that's called the right thing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the only thing I will say is Martinsville, second last race of the season, it brings out the inner frustration that Cup drivers and other drivers have. Um, so I wouldn't really take any personal offense to what he did, but I think he definitely wants to look back and realize that he could have made a better decision there.
Yeah.
Eli, what's your take on Sam Mayer?
Do you want my actual take or do you want the toned down professional take?
No, your actual take.
Jeb Burton drove like a terrorist the whole night, and actions have consequences. And it's funny too because just looking back on Martinsville history, in the same year, Ty Gibbs completely junked, didn't even try to make the corner, junked his teammate, didn't get a penalty or anything. And in the spring race on the cool down lap, I actually think it was Mayer he hit. I don't remember exactly, but I believe it was Sam Mayer in the one car. Hit him so hard, the front end of Ty Gibbs's car caved in, hood caved in. Got out on pit road with his helmet on and punched him in the face and didn't get a penalty. So no, it's all a joke. It's about the last name you carry. But like I said, actions have consequences. Do I think he should be suspended? Realistically, probably not. But I think Jeb got the point, and I think that's all that matters in the situation.
all right, real quick, two points I think that need clarification. First off, the Ty Gibbs into Brandon Jones is a big difference between junking someone on the last lap for the lead and junking someone after the checkered flag has already come out.
I'll agree with you there.
And then with the Ty Gibbs and Sam Mayer incident on pit road, yeah, that absolutely, you can't be bumping people on pit road when there are crew members, NASCAR officials, and a bunch of other people in and around the race cars. And Ty Gibbs did receive if I remember correctly, a pretty reasonable fine considering Xfinity Series penalty standards.
A fine and a suspension are not the same thing.
I know a fine and a suspension were not the same thing. We also didn't have a precedent at the time for suspensions in NASCAR because they hadn't actually, because that happened back before the Bubba Wallace Kyle Larson wreck that led to the first suspension in this wave of suspensions that we've seen these last couple of years.
I'll give you that to an extent, but if we're going to call strikes and balls, going in the future, if a bigger team driver does this, there should be no question then if it should be a suspension.
Yeah, and there hasn't been a question pretty much ever since the again, the precedent was pretty much set with the intentional wreck with Bubba Wallace and Kyle Larson at Vegas. I feel like ever since then, even when it was Chase Elliott dumping Denny Hamlin at Martinsville, say Austin Hill on Eric Almirola earlier this year in the Xfinity Series. I feel like they've called it pretty fairly when it comes to intentional wrecks and junking cars.
Well, the good thing is, I guess, justice was served in NASCAR's eyes, and Jeb Burton went home with a KO'd race car. So that's all I can ask for. Drove like a terrorist.
All right, we're just gonna move on from that. Um,
That got hot, didn't it, boys?
it did. Maybe for some good podcasting. I like it. But we're gonna take that point and just move on. Uh, Other news, we had two teams announce some signings. So Brett, I'm gonna have you roll this one out.
So, with the announcement of Justin Haley being let go by Spire and Daniel Suarez taking the 7 car, Justin Haley and Daniel Dye have moved down to the truck series to run 2 of the colleagues' Ram trucks, with Brendan Queen as the third. We're still waiting on 2 announcements and the announcements for the numbers as well. With that happening, Haley's moving back down the truck series, and Daniel Dye is moving back down to the trucks. And Colleague is actually going to shut down their Xfinity program to work on that truck series and go from there, with Ram going all the way up. The other big news is announced earlier that Harrison Burton was not going back with AM Racing with Ford. He has now signed to be the driver of the 24 for Sam Hunt Racing with Dean Thompson as his teammate. So Sam Hunt Racing is now becoming a two-car full-time operation. Last year they were a 1-car full-time and 1-car part-time with a bunch of different drivers.
I
So
think they
it's
had
gonna-
2 full-time cars, just rotations of drivers this year.
But now they have a consistent driver in that 24 and see what they can do. That gives Harrison Burton another opportunity to show what he can do in Toyota equipment, which he is used to driving before he moved to Ford. And that just brings up another person in that Toyota pipeline.
Yep.
So one thing I want to talk about on that is I'm thinking about Daniel Dye, and you said that he's going to be driving one of the Ram trucks, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
What better opportunity do you have as a young driver who's trying to put your name out there than to be one of the inaugural ones to start racing and Dodge's come back to NASCAR? And what are you guys' my question to you guys is, what can you guys expect or hope to expect from Daniel Dye being one of the names connected to the rebirth of Dodge in the truck series?
I never get to go first, so I'll go first on this one.
All right, well, we'll get this out of the way. Go ahead, JP.
So, so I think it's a great move. I think this will put Daniel Dye on the map.
Okay, what's your reasoning for that? Because this is essentially a demotion with potential upgrade.
Yeah.
So how is this going to put him on the map? Tell me.
Because I feel like he got moved up to Xfinity way too fast. And now we'll get to see what talent he has by going back down to the Truck Series. We don't know the crew chief. We don't know all that stuff. But if he got a good, solid crew chief, he will be the next Corey Hine. Maybe.
That it wouldn't be JP without spewing something bold and borderline insane. But This is why we're here.
I think that goes
A
a little beyond the border.
little bit. Ryan, since you're already off mute, let's get your take. Daniel Dye and Dodge.
Yeah, I mean, given the three drivers that we've had announced so far, I really kind of see it kind of structured out in the way that I think Brendan Queen is going to be the face of Ram. He is their superstar that they're bringing in. Won the ARCA Series championship earlier this year. I see Justin Haley being the stable veteran to help anchor the program and someone for Brendan Queen to build off of. Meanwhile, I know Daniel Dye brings a significant amount of funding, and that's a big part of why he was in Xfinity this year rather than taking an extra year in trucks, as he was making his way up the up kind of the NASCAR ladder system. So I see him probably fitting into kind of that Brandon Jones type mold where he definitely, I think that he has some room to grow into a solid driver in time. I just question how much of him being there is the funding versus how much of it is the pure on track talent. So, and again, I think a lot of that is still to be determined.
Yeah. I mean, you said made a lot of great points there. Um, Daniel Dye does bring a lot of funding with the sponsorships and things like that. Something that is going to be pivotal to this whole rebirth. Eli, what are your thoughts?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
I don't really know a whole lot about it, to be honest. My phone right now currently kind of lives in do not disturb. But I will say this, man. I don't have a lot of comments on that, but with Dodge, I do. That truck looks so sexy, dude. I can't wait to have a few of them diecast on my shelf, man. That Dodge looks good. Okay, you can put anybody you want to
I
in that
agree.
Dodge, and it is going to look great. As
Oh,
far as
I
Daniel Dye, I mean, like I said, I don't really know a whole lot about that situation. But them trucks look so good.
I definitely agree. I can't wait to see the diecast come out for those trucks because I will be definitely picking and choosing, figuring out which one do I want to get based on paint scheme.
And which
But
ones you're going to dodge?
I love it. I love it.
I couldn't not have the rebirth of Dodge without incorporating some of those puns in.
Bam, what's your take on Daniel Dye and the overall Dodge rebirth for next year?
So with Justin Haley coming back down with Collie again, I feel like he's going to be the flagship driver over Brendan Queen just for this season. He's got the experience. He knows how to win. He has a Cup Series win under his belt, and he has a bunch of Xfinity Series wins under his belt with Colleague. So I feel like he's going to be the face of the team, but it all depends on who those other two drivers that they're going to bring in is. Because you're going to have Daniel Dye, who brings in funding, who can help with the funding side of it. But then you also have the experience with Justin Haley and the youth with Brendan Queen, who won, like he said, the ARCA Menards championship last year or this year. So it's a dynamic that we have to see on track to see who's going to be the top dog and who's going to be the backdrops.
No love for Dyer.
Well, he's not a bad driver. He was 19th in Xfinity Series points in his rookie year with Colleague. Colleague has not been the best team in the Xfinity Series as of late because they haven't had a championship caliber driver like they had with AJ Allmendinger or Chastain when they drove for him or stuff like that. So it's not like he's been put in the best scenario, but running 19th in points isn't bad.
Yeah, and again, that's why I reiterated that I could see him building himself into a solid driver. I just don't think it's going to be immediate success the way we've seen with some of the hot shot rookies that have come up through. Like to JP's point, I don't see him having that Corey Heim level instant success.
Yeah, speaking of Corey Heim, he had a massive day at Martinsville, did he not, guys?
Yeah, won both stages and the race in the Martinsville truck race.
Yeah, just sweeping everything. The only thing he didn't get was the pole, which is kind of surprising. Um, there was a lot of talk about um, who was it, Ty Majeski, giving him a run for his money, and for a majority of that race, that seemed to be the theme. It was who was going to have the better luck at towards the end of the race, whether it been Majeski or Heim, but things just kind of fell apart there towards the end for Majeski. Uh, we'll do a free for all based on anything that you want to talk about from the truck series. Uh, JP, do you have anything that you want to talk about the truck series, or are you good?
Oh, do I ever?
Oh, here we go.
So, Corey Heim, I mean, if that boy does not win the championship, I am going to be so disheartened for him, so disappointed that the format. You know, I'm I'm kind of going off this format, and Corey Hines been the dominant cook. I said it the other night. But in the chat, but if Corey Hines doesn't win the championship, NASCAR definitely needs to change it. And I heard changes are coming, and I am glad.
So, out of all that, we get a very disheartened JP if Corey Heim does not win the championship in Phoenix. What do you got, Bam?
It's the same as him and Connor Zillage. If they don't win the championship, they've won 10 races for what?
11 races for Corey Heim.
Even worse. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, if you want to bring up the stats of the other championship four, Corey Heim has 11 wins. The other three championship contenders combined, 1 win. Corey Heim has 18 top fives on the year. The rest of the championship four combined, barely eclipse that number at 20, I believe. And if you're looking at stage wins, Corey Heim has won 21 of those, compared to the rest of the other three championship contenders combined for 6. Not to mention Corey Heim having sat on 7 pole awards. Meanwhile, the rest of the championship 4, not a singular one.
That's going to be tough to overcome there.
That statistical, I mean, that just goes to show. I mean, statistically, yes, Corey Heim is absolutely, by any reasonable format, should be the champion. Obviously, winner take all format, maximum, trying to get the maximum entertainment value out of it. Just hope it ends well for the driver who's realistically earned the title, especially as he won't be back to defend it next year.
Facts, because we know that boy's getting moved up.
But we don't know what ride he's going to. That's the problem.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of next season, though.
Yeah, all we know is that he's likely going to be part-time in Cup, and I believe that might be all he is part-time Cup. Yeah, but the word circling around sounds like he will not be full-time for any of the championships. So,
which is interesting considering how he's been this year.
Yeah, but to circle back to the Martinsville race, there was actually a very interesting battle in the directly behind Corey Heim. While Corey Heim was at the front of the field, absolutely storming everybody else, You actually had a really intense points battle, which was highlighted first off by some contact between Rajah Caruth and Caden Honeycutt, which led to Rajah Caruth losing a tire into turn one, ultimately ending Rajah Caruth's chances at the championship, and opened up the door for a couple of other drivers. And we ended with four drivers realistically racing for the 3 spots behind Corey Heim, and those 4 drivers ended up separated by a total of 1 point. We ended up with Tyler Ankrum and Ty Majeski, 1 point above each, and Caden Honeycutt and Lane Riggs, who were racing for second and third on the closing laps, finishing in a dead tie for the final playoff spot in the championship 4.
I believe the 52 got the tiebreaker.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Finishing second place in that race did earn him the tiebreaker. So Caden Honeycutt will be racing for a championship in a weird situation, as he had to swap rides mid-season as he got moved out of the Chevy program and caught a somewhat lucky break with Stuart Friesen's team needing a substitution driver after his unfortunate crash up in Canada around that same time in the year. So Caden Honeycutt caught a lucky break and was able to get into that truck for the and drive it for the playoffs, and he drove it very well throughout the playoffs.
That he did. Definitely worthy of getting to the dance with his consistency that he's been putting on through the playoffs.
Yeah, I will say though, I am a little disappointed that Lane Riggs isn't going to be there, because I feel like, especially on the short tracks, I feel like he is probably the second most deserving driver of any of them. I mean, 3 wins, 12 top 5s. He's sat on 3 of those pole positions as well, including, I believe he had the pole at Martinsville this past week. So, again, that short track prowess. I think Lane Riggs would have been a perfect challenger to Corey Heim in a championship fight.
Yeah.
And now Lane Riggs gets to play spoiler, as he is sitting in the 5th position, not eligible for the championship, and pretty well separated from everybody else in terms of points for that 5th place position.
Yeah, I mean, he still gets a chance to play spoiler, take away a victory at least, but
he is also racing for the Owners' Championship as well. The 34 did make it into the Owners' Championship.
Yeah.
Over Tyler Ankrum.
So what I think we're gonna do is we're also gonna, since we're talking about the truck series, we're just gonna go ahead and just pinpoint this weekend as well, and just lump it all into the grouping of championship weekend for the trucks, and that way we can go on to Xfinity, do the same thing, and so on and so forth for the Cup Series. With the Final 4 going into the Truck Series, I would ask who we're going to pick to become the champion, but I feel like I don't want all of us saying the same thing. But we're going to do that, but I want you guys to give me the order of the top 4. How they're going to finish come end of race day. So just for information purposes, the final 4 going into the playoffs for the trucks for the truck series, you have Corey Heim going in with the points lead, Caden Honeycutt in second, Ty Majeski in third, and Tyler Ankrum in that 4th spot. There is no plus minus. It's winner take all. We're going to start with JP. Out of those 4, give me the order of where they're going to finish.
All right. With Corey Heim finishing first, Caden Honeycutt staying where he is, and the 3rd break guy will be the performance and help me with his name.
Majeski or
Tyler,
Ankrum?
Tyler Incan.
All right.
And then Ty Majeski. Sorry, Ty.
Oof. All right.
Yeah.
We'll go with Eli. Corey Heim, Caden Honeycutt, Ty Majeski, Tyler Ankrum. How did they finish after Phoenix is said and done?
Before I go ahead and give my predictions, I would just like to say that by the grace of God, it better be Corey Heim. If it's not Corey Heim, I'm going to be extremely upset. But I don't think it will be Corey Heim because everybody in the truck series races like, what's that big word I said earlier that I got everybody riled up with? Terrorist. So, with that being said, I don't know if I can say that word. That's probably not one of the ones that.
Let's come up with a different word.
Yeah. I just didn't realize that from my standpoint on a few
That's a little
jobs.
aggressive.
Yeah, like a Neanderthal. There we go. So, can we go back and edit all that stuff I said before? Can we cut some? I hope we can. Like we actually may need to look at cutting some of that, boys. I think it will be Ty Majeski, Corey Heim, Tyler Ankrum, and Caden Honeycutt.
Ooh,
that's your
man.
order?
That is my order.
He's setting himself up to be very upset on come Friday night.
Wait, what was his
Well, I
order?
know. Ty Majeski, Corey Heim, Tyler Ankrum, and Caden Honeycutt. It better be Corey Heim. I don't want it to
That
be
could be a
that
pretty
order.
entertaining finish, honestly.
I mean, I don't want it to shake out that way. I mean, nobody wants it to shake out that way. If you do, then there's something wrong with you. But anyway, I mean, but seriously though, like it better not shake out any other way but Corey Heim getting it done. I mean, that's just point blank and simple. Now he may get it done there, but that's where my Xfinity picks will be weird. So, one of these two top tier drivers in both of their respected series is going to get screwed somehow. I don't know which one. I really don't want to pick which one, but one of them will get screwed. I don't know which though.
Hmm. All right. Well, with that being said, Ryan, let's go to yours.
All right, so I do think that Corey Heim, I think he's just the best driver in this Truck Series field this year. I think he's hungry. I think he knows he won't be back for another shot at this. Obviously, I believe the last the last year or the last 2 years he's been in a similar favorite position, maybe not quite this dominant, and bad fortune has taken him out. So I think he is out to prove a point here at Phoenix. So I think Corey Heim will get it done, although I think he will be followed in hot pursuit by Ty Majeski, who is the reigning, defending Truck Series champion, trying to go ahead and claim his second championship in a row. I think he's proven he could get it done at Phoenix 1 year ago. Thor Sports looked very strong over the years at the Phoenix finale. Ben Rhodes, I believe, winning 2 championships here as well in that same equipment. So, as I definitely think the Thor Sport trucks will be in there. And then I'll take Tyler Ankrum over Caden Honeycutt for those final 2 spots.
Okay.
And I could just see the way Honeycutt raced at Martinsville, potentially making him some enemies that will make it tougher on him throughout the race.
Yeah.
Considering he was the car that made the contact that cut Rajah Caruth's tire.
All right. Bam.
So I'm going to go with a more unconditional order. I honestly think with the way that I think it's going to be Heim winning it, but I think Caden Honeycutt's going to be the driver who's going to be trailing him in second with Ty third and Ankrum fourth. I don't see Ankrum doing much in that race. I know he made it, but I don't know how well he's going to do. Caden's got a lot more to prove than Ty does, so I think he's going to push it a lot harder. And it's Corey's race or championship to lose.
That is
Yep.
interesting.
I'll say
Um,
this. Oh, sorry, Jimmy.
no, go ahead.
I'll say this before we move on. Qualifying for all series, especially that one, I think will set a tone.
Yeah, although I wouldn't rule Martinsville out, especially in the Truck Series, as a track that you could definitely make some passes at. It won't be
Phoenix.
easy, but if you have a superior driver like a Corey Heim, I could see Corey Heim, although I don't think he'll need it. I could see him being the kind of driver who could overcome a bad qualifying effort.
And I will say this: there's no
Yeah.
Carson Hocevar to take him out this year.
Well, that's what I was saying. I think he feels like he's got a lot to prove after the last year or two.
Yeah, so I'm looking. I'm looking at this, and the safe pick would be to take Corey Heim on this. I mean, he's got the momentum. He's got the team advantage with Tricon Garage and Toyota. He's got top 3 finishes in both prior truck starts there. There's just a lot to go with, and if he qualifies in the top 5, he's pretty much dang near untouchable. But the one that I'm leaning on, which Eli kind of surprised me by going with this, is I think Ty Majeski is the most dangerous opponent going into this weekend for Corey Heim. Reason for that, one is the experience. He's the only driver out of the group that has multiple championship 4 appearances. His Phoenix record in 3 of his last 4 starts, he's placed in the top 10 and has a good long run pace. But the biggest thing that is going to win him the race is going to be strategy from his crew chief. His crew chief always plays aggressive with undercuts and short pitting. And that could, like, if we get into a stretch where it's a long run, I think that will end up becoming the reason why we're talking about this next week and why Ty Majeski is the Truck Series champion. So I'm going to go Majeski, Heim, Ankrum, Honeycutt.
Yeah, I mean,
I will also say that.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay.
Go ahead,
What I
Dan.
was also going to say is Ford doesn't have many. I think Majeski is the only Ford in the championship 4 for all 3 series. So he's going to have a lot of backing from Ford.
Yep.
But you can also have
Penske's run.
Yeah, but there's no. The only Ford in the playoffs is Ty Majeski, and there's only 4 Toyotas in the playoffs as well in all 3 series.
Yep. But yeah, I was gonna say I may not have picked it for him to actually get the win, but yeah, similar to what you and Eli said, I definitely could see this being a close fight with Ty Majeski though, contending with Corey Heim. Again, I didn't pick him to win the championship specifically, but I did mention specifically that I could see him in hot pursuit of that number 11 car at the end of the race.
Yeah, for sure. But we're going to go ahead and transition over to the Xfinity Series. And once again, what was turning into a decent race turned into a chaotic finish going into this one. I know we all in one way or another were talking about it, but Eli was at the track for the Xfinity Series, and ironically enough, he found my dad in the stands and sent me a picture of him. So Eli was all over the place. Eli, tell us about the Xfinity Series race. the experience, and what are your thoughts for the finish of the of Martinsville, and your prediction uh, for Phoenix?
Okay, so that's a lot to break down. I didn't think you'd bring that up. So I was sitting there watching qualifying, which I have the greatest qualifying story when it comes to Cup, but right now we'll keep it Xfinity Series focused here. So I'm sitting there in the stands, and I get a group chat text on my phone. It goes ding. I'm like, okay, I got to check my phone, right? Check my phone, and I see a picture of the racetrack. I'm like, holy cow, Jamie's here. He's not here. He goes, it's his dad. I'm like, whoa, okay, all right, we got to work this out here. So, ironically enough, I couldn't figure out what section he was in or anything, but I had to go take a marketing call. So, I went to the concourse. I couldn't hear everything. Cars are going fast. It's rah, rah. I can't hear nothing for a crap, put it nicely. And come out of the bathroom. I'm getting my hot dogs, and I see somebody wearing this Redskins hoodie here. And I'm like, wait a minute. That's probably him. So I go up to him and I'm eyeing him down. You would thought I was getting ready to like kidnap the poor guy or something. I mean, it was weird the way I was sitting there looking at him. So I call Jamie. I'm like, hey, is this your dad? And of course, Jamie's dad standing right there. He's like, hey, he just comes right over to me. He's like, yeah, that's me. So we got a selfie. Really nice guy. We were both getting hot chocolate, so it worked out great. So that's the story behind that. The Xfinity Series race. It's actually kind of like if you enjoy racing, other than Jeb Burton, um, it was a really good race. It wasn't quite the Martinsville Xfinity race. It's been certainly wasn't the one from the spring, wasn't the one from the past 2 years in the fall, but it nonetheless it was still a good race. Um, Other than that, I mean, I don't really have a lot to say on that before I go to the Phoenix picks and all that. I'm trying to think if there's anything. It was cold. It was really cold. Um, but going to
How was
Phoenix,
the how the stands? Like, how many people showed up for the Xfinity race?
more than last year than what I remember. I think 2022 probably had the most for the X. It was the one where Ty Gibbs, junked Brandon Jones. It was that race. I want to say that one actually did have a really good crowd because I'm pretty sure they did have the turn one gate open. I know there weren't people in turn two, but that was also because of the unveil of the next gen car. There
Mm.
still was though quite a bit of people there for it to be an Xfinity Series race. Cup, of course, was. I mean, it was packed as usual. Ticket scanners going down as usual. So, I mean, just per the normal there. Any other questions about the weekend prior to Phoenix?
Thoughts on the race? Um, Wild finish.
Um, yeah, I mean, the race wasn't bad. Like I said, it wasn't the traditional Martinsville Xfinity Series race from years past. So it was refreshing to actually see a race that wasn't completely filled with cautions. I will say I did enjoy that. Um, it was interesting in a way too because I don't remember an Xfinity Series race being that cold in the fall.
Yeah, it was really cold.
Like I don't remember one right off the top of my head. I didn't go in 20, I know 2020 was cold, but I didn't go. Um, and then like from 2015 to I really actually I think the first Xfinity Series race I went to at Martinsville would have been in 2022 because I just went to the Cup races before. So that was interesting to see a race there that cold. But no, it was a good race. Who won? It was a Toyota. Was it
Yeah, it
Taylor
was
Gray?
Taylor Gray.
Did a great burnout. I will say that was an awesome burnout. Okay, I mean, often I
Hmm.
don't comment on the burnouts. That was a good burnout. Is there anything else I'm missing on the race weekend? Oh yeah, Eric Amarola didn't win. That made me happy. Um,
You are
and then
not an Ulrich fan.
I don't know, man. He's just I don't like it when he gets out of the car and he wins. It's just I don't know, man. I never really liked him. I mean I kind of liked him when he had that Kansas wreck because I felt bad for the poor guy. But other than that, I can't really say there's a time I was just like, yeah, it's Eric time, baby. Let me look at the standings here for the playoffs here because you might have explained them, but I wasn't listening. I'll be honest. Okay, Connor
Well,
Zillett, Carson. How you say that guy's name? Quapple?
Yeah, Quapple.
Kvapil.
Kvapple. You
I'm,
actually say it like that, or
I'm
am
pretty
I
sure it's
sounding like a
with
big dummy?
Quapple. At least
Yeah,
that's
I
how
was
I
thinking it was
pronounce it
Quapple.
when I talk to him.
His father, Travis Quapple,
Hmm?
Quapple.
from his days.
I mean, it's
Maybe
like
that'll
trying
be
to
our.
say that. Okay,
I'm gonna say
wait.
maybe that will be our poll question for the podcast. How do you pronounce his last name properly?
It's like trying to pronounce that one kind of popcorn you buy from the Target, that Papanopoulos or whatever. Yeah, that hurts my head. So we got Connor Zillich, Carson Quapple, Justin Allgaier, or Alligator. Sometimes I call him just an alligator when I've had a few. Jesse Love. So I'll be honest. I have said this since last week. Dell Jr. is going to put some supercharged Budweiser in that 88, okay? That, like, no one's touching him. Now, granted, did he finish 16th in the spring? Yes. Have I seen that all over Twitter? Yes. Did Jesse Love finish, like, third in the spring? Yeah. But Dell Jr. is going to, like, super fuel that car. I don't know what he's going to do to it, but he's Dell Jr., so I'm sure he'll do something to it. So I think he wins the championship, and rightfully so, as much as I'm not a big JRM fan. Second, I would probably say Allgaier. He's old. He has experience. He still looks great, though. I'll be honest. I saw him Saturday. Kind of walk. Or no, he's on a golf cart. It's like, man, that guy still looks good to be old. So I think he still holds it there pretty good. Carson Quapple. I don't know. I'm gonna put him fourth because I'm not big on his last name, and I'm gonna put Jesse Love third. I think that's a
All
pretty
right.
fair
Well,
ranking right there.
I think that's pretty fair ranking.
Thank you.
We'll we'll go it over to Bam. Talk about Xfinity Series race, and then
You
I
wait till I took
purposely
a
did
break.
that because so
What's wrong
yep,
with
I
Bam?
purposely did that.
Yeah,
So
he
for
just
those
puts.
who are listening and not can't really see what we're seeing, uh, Bam has his camera on. He's in his kitchen, and I purposely called on him because he had just shoved some food in his face, and his reaction is exactly what I was going for. So now that you finally got some breath, you got some food in your belly. Uh, Go ahead and give us your takes on the Xfinity series.
So with the Xfinity Series, it has not been, in my opinion, the best racing as racing etiquette. Going back to the spring race at the Martinsville, where Sammy Smith dumped Taylor Gray,
Yep.
it's all it's been talking about is respect in that series, and I don't feel like they've gotten as much as they should be getting into it. You got the I almost said Austin Dillon, Austin Hill thing with Eric Almirola, the new thing with Sam Mayer, with Jeb Burton. They're not driving with respect down there. This race this week, they had a little bit more respect other than the Sam Mayer Jeb Burton thing. Because they could have had, but I will say this with that being said, congratulations to Taylor Gray for winning his first Xfinity Series race in the Joe Gibbs 54.
Yeah.
Joe High 54 car. Anyways, my picks for the Xfinity Series championship, I think it's not going to be Zillage this year. I do not think it. I know he has 10 wins, but going back to what you said with the 16th place finish at Phoenix in the spring, Allgaier and Love are going to give him a run for his money. I don't think Carson Quapple is going to do much just because, A, it's his rookie season, B, he knows he's not going to be in that car full time, and C, he's learning still.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Why are we lowing?
Before we
I was following. Well, we're all right. Go ahead. No, I was back on. That's getting good.
before we did the podcast, I was going to bring this up earlier, but since Bam brought it up, I saw where they were arguing had Carson Koffel, I do believe. Someone can confirm this, so, but he's going to be in that one car full time with the before mentioned crew chief of
No, he's not going to be full time.
Rodney.
He's not full.
Th-
He
Dale
They
him
Jr.
Connor.
did
changed
say
that
that he's trying to.
this today.
Dale Jr. did say earlier this week that he is trying to find some other opportunities for Quapple to try and help him put together a full season. But because of funding, he won't be in that one car full time. He's splitting that with Connor Zillage.
But anyways, I'll finish
Okay.
my statement. My picks, because I tell you, I'm thinking it's going to be Allgaier again, Love, then Zillage, then Carson Quapple. Is my 4 pick.
All
All right. That's not a bad set. That's not a bad set. Especially if you don't think Zilich is going to get it done. Go ahead, JP. Your turn.
Alright. So I agree with overall really interesting. Congratulations, Tanner Gray. You drove your guts out for that win. You had a lot of pressure on you to perform, and I would have been so nervous, but you didn't show the nerves and you didn't give up. Now for my championship 4th position, it's going to surprise you,
When doesn't it?
but I do like. I do like the number 1 to figure. Number 1, I know it's going to upset the AA team, but I tell you what, there's no time but present. Ryan and I have talked to Carson together before. Carson will get the championship. It will be all guys. Then it will be the 2. Then it will be the 88. I just think that's the race where all heck is going to break loose. Because he'll get nervous under pressure. I hope it doesn't happen. But as Eli said earlier, if there is a series that's not going to have the correct champion, I believe, as much as I don't want to see him crack a presser, I believe the 88 will crack.
Man. We're
I
not
just wanna
getting
make
any
one
type
point.
of love for Connor Zillage on this podcast as of right now. This is interesting.
I do want to make one point real quick.
All right, go ahead. Before and after that you're done with that, we'll go to Ryan.
Chevrolet will win the championship in the Xfinity Series.
Oh, wow. That's a bold pick.
Wow.
They only hold all 4 positions.
We need to clip that. Wow.
Wow.
That's the only one I one bold prediction is that.
All right, Ryan, go ahead.
Uh, well, I don't know how to follow up a bold prediction quite that bold. I mean, yeah. So talking about the Xfinity Series race, just for a brief moment from Martinsville. One thing that I don't think we've anyone else has really mentioned that I think Sam. I think some credit needs to be given to Sammy Smith because he had all the opportunity in the world to do the exact same thing he did in the spring, wiping out Taylor Gray to try and win a race. And in this case, the win would have sent him to the championship four, and he raced Taylor Gray with a fair amount of respect, especially compared to the extreme lack of respect we saw between these two drivers in the spring race. So just something to mention there, because I know Brett did bring up the point of respect or lack thereof in the Xfinity Series, and I feel like Sammy Smith did show a fair amount of improvement from spring Martinsville to fall Martinsville. So just wanted to give some credit there to Sammy Smith. But going into the championship four, because he did not wreck Taylor Gray for the win, we have our championship four. And I think I am going to follow the trend of not having Connor Zilic win the race. I saw someone on Twitter mention that yeah, something happened in that Talladega wreck in the spring that set him on that insane top five streak where he was just clicking off wins and top fives like it was nothing. And then the second Talladega race hit the reset button, and now he's back to rookie Connor Zilic from the first half of the season. So, and he definitely looked pedestrian at Martinsville. I mean, he did not look like the same untouchable Connor Zilic that he had been throughout the entire summer at every type of racetrack imaginable. So, yeah, definitely weird that he did seem to snap right back to it after another wreck at Talladega. But my championship pick, I'm going to go ahead and I'll take the somewhat easy pick. I think Justin Allgaier has experience. He'll go back to back. Although I do think Carson Kvapil is going to put up a fight because I think he's going to be determined to try and earn a spot in an opportunity that will help fill out a full-time schedule for himself. Yeah, because at the moment, considering the fact that sponsorship's the big problem there, he's going to need to do something big to get the funding to fill out the schedule. So I think a second place championship run for Kvapil is going to be on the menu. And then honestly, I'll take Connor Zilic to finish third. I think strength in numbers. I think the three junior motorsports cars will be able to potentially box out the number two of Jesse Love, especially because Jesse Love is out there with no teammates.
Yeah, that could always play a factor into that.
And yes, I am aware of what I said. Austin Hill does not race the two car like a teammate.
No, he does not.
So, yeah. Just figured I'd preface that before someone called me an idiot because, yes, the two does have a technical teammate. But when your teammate is Austin Hill, you might as well not have a teammate at all.
Technically, as an alliance teammate as well with Nick Sanchez.
Well, yeah. I mean, RCR has about 50,000 different technical alliances because the colleague racing cars are also technically a part of that technical alliance, too. But
yeah. So, my take is, I think how different of a conversation will we be having if why am I blanking on his name?
Zilic or Heim?
Mayer. Hill.
Mayer. Yes. No, Smith. Sammy Smith. How different of a conversation will we be having if Sam Smith did do what needed to be done to get into the playoffs.
Define that.
If he had
Would
dumped
we
Taylor Gray for the win,
would no I will. If he did what he needed to do to whether it be push Taylor Gray up to get push him up into the fence or take him out to secure a win to advance himself into the championship, will we consider that will we be putting that in the same scale as what he did earlier in the season, or would we be looking at this as he did what he had to do to make sure that he's in the final dance?
I
I'll
mean,
say
Format
this
makes
on
you
this
do crazy stuff.
subject.
Brett. Brett was talking first.
If he would have done what he did in the spring, it wouldn't change the fact of the championship race, to me at least. Because A, that would put a target on his back from not just the 54, but the 19, the 18, and the 20 would all. That's Joe Gibbs going against one Junior Motorsports car. I don't see it changing the way my picks if he made it compared to Carson. I still have Justin Allgaier and Love being better than Zillage, and Sammy Smith or Carson Quapple being fourth in that line. He
Well,
hasn't had the
I'm not
equipment
talking
like
about
Carson.
the outline of the championship four. I'm talking about the move itself. If you were in that moment and you knew you had to find a way to win that race, what would you do?
It goes back to my comment on the racing with respect thing. He made that mistake once before and he learned from it and he didn't do it the second time. He's earned more respect to those drivers that he's going to be racing with next year by not doing what people expect him to do.
Okay. All right. We're going to go to Ryan.
I mean, I would hope that if he did pull off that, if he did try pulling off that same move from the spring race, I would hope that people carry the exact same attitude that they had towards Ty Gibbs when he moved the 20 car that ultimately knocked the 20 car out of the championship. Obviously, that one being teammate on teammate, but still the same premises of a last lap bump for the win at the end of the Martinsville cutoff race. I would hope that the fan base would hold him to the exact same standard that they eviscerated Ty Gibbs, and they still hold it against Ty Gibbs. Now, what? 3 years later? 4 years later?
Yeah.
So, as again, I mentioned it when I gave the shout out to him. Major credit to him for not doing the easy thing of just running into the back of the guy. But yeah, again, if he had done it, I would hope that the fan base would hold that same standard that they hold other drivers to, even though this one drives for Junior Motorsports.
All right. Eli.
I think that I don't I don't think you should. I mean, there's a difference between a bump and a run, and there's a difference than what took place in the 2026 spring race. With that being said, your job as a
2026
driver,
spring race. Are you from the
or
future?
2025. No, I was reading a 2026 email. That's my fault. Um, your job as a driver is to go win a championship. This format will make you do crazy things. Do I agree with it? No. Do I know what I would do if I was in that position? No, because I'm not being paid the undisclosed amount money he is because his contract isn't being publicly disclosed, or at least that I can find. But I would assume it's a pretty good amount. Um, would they hold him to the same accountability? Probably not. Should they? Yes. But that is the one thing that I will say I have matured on a little bit, going back and looking at the Ty Gibbs situation. Do I agree with the move? No. Was it wrong? Yes. Did he deserve everything that came at him? Absolutely. However, is it his job to go out there and do everything possible to win a championship? Absolutely. And yes, you can blame the driver for doing boneheaded moves. There has to be accountability within the situation. I'm not justifying it, but at the same time, this is what this format wants. There wouldn't be a format. This format wouldn't be in place if NASCAR thought that it was just going to not be a WWE SmackDown. They want that. They still run Martinsville ads to this day with Ty Gibbs sending the night. It was not the 20, by the way. It was the 19 around.
Oh, okay. It was Brandon Jones who
It was
drives the
Brandon
20
Jones, though. Yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, close enough. 2019, same thing. Um,
Yeah.
Format makes you do crazy things. If you don't want to see that happen, then hold NASCAR's feet to the fire and beg for a different format.
Well, and it sounds like we're getting one too. I'll say that much. The rumors, it sounds like they're discussing 3 alternate formats, but none of them are the winner take all. So I'm hopeful for next year.
But to Eli's point, that was where I was more getting at. Which, and this kind of talks about like from a fan to a driver mentality. When you're in the heat of the moment, when you know your season is on the line, you're there to win championships. You're there to win a championship. You're in contention to potentially get into the final race to win a championship. But in that moment, he valued the respect of his fellow driver over the opportunity to race for a championship. Not a lot of people would make that choice. I can't say that I wouldn't have thought about multiple times 10 days of Sunday of making a move to get my way into a championship race.
Brake
But
checking someone in a championship race.
I mean, that's just another tactic that you can use to make sure that you win.
Yep.
Yep. Uh, but what I will say, the conversation we would have on that move would be different than the one that happened in the spring. Because we could validate, hey, he had to do it to get himself into the championship. Now, had he did it and totally took
Bad.
himself out, then it would be a completely different scenario. But all of that's hearsay. I just created that topic just to get some great dialogue, and I think we definitely got that. And we're also pressing on time, so we're gonna quickly talk about the Cup Series race in Martinsville. Um, it was quite the experience from shifting in points to the points battles. Some unfortunate momentum going in the opposite direction for Chase Briscoe and Denny Hamlin as well. So, what do you think?
Oh,
We'll do a
do we
brief.
bring up
Uh,
that
do,
with
we'll do a brief recap of the weekend, and then I'm going to talk to you guys about um, how do we view the momentum going into the championship Final Four race. So the brief recap of Martinsville. William Byron, the class of the field, uh, just was putting on a clinic. I mean, he scored a whopping total of 61 points coming out of Martinsville. Uh, Blaney coming up in the second spot. Chase Elliott rebounding to a third finishing spot. Mellon Man in fourth, and everyone's secondary favorite driver, which seems like Kyle Larson, finishing up in the top five. Stages all swept by William Byron. So he did the full sweep with the pole, all the stages, and the win. But we seen some some cracks in the momentum for Gibbs versus Hendrick. What are you guys' thoughts on this showdown that we're going to have? Who do you think has the advantage in Phoenix between the two? We'll go with JP, then we'll go Eli, Bam, Ryan.
Alright. So, I don't have a hat for this guy, but I stand up. I salute the cutting for of William Byron to get his first championship.
All right, short and sweet.
That's what we will be
Justin says William
talking
Byron is going to
about.
win the championship. That's what you're going to be talking about next week.
Mm-hmm.
Is William Byron winning that championship? All right.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on the momentum going into Phoenix, the Final Four, and how it's shaking out between JGR versus Hendrick? You there, Bam? Okay, guess not. Eli.
Okay, before I state my opinion real quick, if it is possible, I will make this as brief as possible. When it comes time to do your trivia, can you allot me like 2 minutes to say something? Because I had one of y'all's followers somehow contact me, and the story's great. I will make it very brief though when it comes that time, but like y'all will love to hear this. It is great for the podcast. I promise you.
All right.
Going
we'll do
into
that.
Phoenix. It's hard to say that the momentum's not with Byron. I feel like coming off a win at Martinsville, just having that momentum going into the weekend obviously means a lot. I would like to say Denny Hamlin wins the championship as much as I don't like him. It is growing on me, but I don't know. I don't see a Gibbs car winning at Phoenix in the championship. I think Larson's also a sneaky good pick, but if I had to pick a Hendrick guy, it would be Byron.
All right, and the one thing that no one's really talking about is like the momentum. So at Martinsville, we've seen both JGR contenders have some type of mechanical issue. Do you think that's going to play into Phoenix as far as momentum, or do you think it's not really going to hinder JGR?
No, not really. I think Bell was on a different engine package, however you want to view that, than those other two JGR cars. Bell was in a must-win situation. I don't think Bell blew up, did he?
No, Bell finished 7th.
Yeah, so I don't think that really hinders Denny or Briscoe. I really don't. I think that as soon as they got out of the car, their mindset was Phoenix. I don't think that really. Just from the media response I saw from both of them, they seem to be fine. So
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I don't think there's going to be much momentum shift with the engine expiring from Denny or Briscoe. But you got to think about it like this: Toyota had four cars finish in the bottom 4 positions. So there is going to be momentum with Chevy finishing with 4 out of the 5 cars in the top 5. So there's going to be momentum on that side, and William Byron's going to come in with the most momentum. But I don't think that's going to affect the championship race as much as we're putting on.
Okay. Go ahead, Ryan. You got your hand raised.
Yeah. So just real quick, I know we've been talking about momentum. Am I the only person who thinks that momentum needs to be built up more than a singular race? Because Byron's momentum coming into the Martinsville weekend was about as terrible as you could imagine. I mean, the fluky no signal pit road entry from Ty Dillon that wiped him out at Las Vegas, then getting caught up in a last lap crash at Talladega. I mean, yeah, he had a great race at Martinsville when he was in a must-win situation coming in, but he had no semblance of momentum prior to that race that would have at all made me think, oh yeah, this is a guy who's riding some momentum. Versus the Toyotas, especially Briscoe and Hamlin, who have had very good playoffs throughout the last 9 weeks, with very few stumbling blocks prior to this mishap with the engines at Martinsville once they were both already locked in with wins. So is it just me,
Right,
it
and
feels
that's
like they
why I
built
brought up,
momentum over the previous 8 weeks, and is that momentum all gone because of 2 blown engines?
and that's why I brought up the word momentum, because I was
Yeah.
hoping you were going to pick up on that. So,
Yeah.
based on the question, Ryan, give me your answer.
Honestly, I think Chase Briscoe actually comes in probably as, in my opinion, the favorite. I know we talked about it right before we hopped on the air that he's actually the lowest odds of the 4, but between the fact that he's had a very good playoff up to this point, again, aside from this bad result at Martinsville, he won Talladega, top 5 at Vegas. Yeah, top 5 at Kansas, top 10 at New Hampshire, top 10 at Bristol, runner up at Gateway, first at Darlington. I mean, he out of these playoffs, he has a 14th place at Charlotte, and this engine failure at Martinsville were his only 2 finishes outside the top 10 in the last 9 weeks. I mean, that is a lot of momentum going into the track that he claimed his very first career win at. I mean, how do you deny momentum like that?
And he's also got the most poles out of all the Final Four.
That too. And if we're talking about qualifying being important, he's got that qualifying down. So yeah, again, I think he also has more top 5s than any other driver in the championship 4 as well. Which, yeah, believe it or not, he actually has more than Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson. So, yeah, again, I think a lot of people are sleeping on Briscoe, and I think he's gonna give a wake up call to some people. If not in qualifying, certainly I think he'll make himself known in the race.
Yeah, I definitely think you kind of hit on what I was looking at as far as the momentum of everything. Now, with the engine failures coming the week before the championship race, does that dampen the momentum a little bit for JGR and just the consistency that they've been putting on all season long? Yes.
I look at what
I
Penske
think
did the last 2 years.
But I will also argue the mindset of having a DNF right before right before the big race.
Yeah, but
Especially when you're a younger driver like a Briscoe, I think it hinders him a lot more than it hinders Denny Hamlin.
well, we say younger driver. Briscoe's not exactly your typical young driver. Because
I mean, okay, well, we'll use the phrase "new kid on the block." How about that? How do you like that phrase? New kid on the block.
Sure. Yeah, because he's 30 years old, going to be turning 31 next month.
But with that being said, if we look back into March, Denny Hamlin was the runner-up with Kyle Larson third. Byron was 6th, and then he was. Where did he finish in that race? Chase Briscoe finished 35th in the spring. So, already not that great of a finishing spot because if I remember correctly, he got caught up in an accident.
Yeah,
I
wasn't
don't
he
remember
the
what it
victim of a
was.
Catherine leg crash? If I
Um,
remember correctly.
Hold on.
no, I don't think that's what it was.
Oh no, I think that was Suarez. That got
Yeah,
caught up
it
in
was
that one.
something that happened earlier.
No, he got
It, it was a Hocevar issue.
Oh, the host of our issue.
it was
Okay.
Hocevar, Herps, Healy, and Kozlowski and Custer and
Briscoe.
SPG in Briscoe.
Yeah,
It was a 7-car incident.
Yeah.
yeah,
The cat the leg one was Suarez, and that was on lap with like 102 to go.
Yeah.
yeah. But that's why I'm saying, like, it definitely at a track where he definitely needs a better finish, but history has not shown that he can finish well due to whether it be his own driving or circumstances outside of it. Um, for him, I think it really dampens his momentum. Uh, but Denny Hamlin, I think, is the favorite. Could this finally be the year that Denny Hamlin finally gets that elusive championship, or are his dreams will be dashed once again uh, by a Hendrick Motorsport driver? That will be we'll be finding that out this Sunday as they race at Phoenix, and we're gonna really quick go through everyone's green flag, black flag. You can talk about anything from race weekend, uh, even to your thoughts of the championship weekend. JP, real quick.
Alright, real quick, green flag go to the 54 team of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. I love seeing first time winners. I love seeing people who don't give up in 10 and the 54 team did not give up all year long. Congratulations once again. For my black flag, it has to go to um the 11 team for getting rid of Corey Hunt and
Is it getting
making the freaking
rid of Corey Heim?
his yellow.
This is his. This is so seemed to be his final start in the track on 11, full time at least.
Yep.
That's been
Hmm.
rumored. That's what he's
Yeah.
talking
Caden
about.
Honeycutt is heavily rumored to get that.
Okay, well we're not gonna talk about rumors, but all right. Bam, go ahead.
Green flag. William Byron making the playoffs and Larson making the playoffs through the win and the points. Black flag. I have two. One is Eric Jones spinning by himself coming off a pit road and creating a caution that gave William Byron the lead back. And two, the Sam Mayer Jeb Burton thing. Like I said earlier with the driving with respect thing, Sam Mayer did not.
All right. Eli, give us your green flag and your
Okay, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
yes, sir.
Let's see. Green flag. Let's see. Kyle Busch qualified within the top 10, and I was probably the happiest person there. Black flag. Hmm. Let's see. That's a good black flag. NASCAR took forever to throw the caution when the 43 went around.
Mm. How long? How long was he actually sitting there before they threw the flag? Because I mean, on TV, like obviously we're seeing like battles and driving, and then they clip
So
over to it once the caution actually goes out.
like cannot get the car at all. And like they finally throw it when they're about, I would say, 200 feet away from turn 3. Like they're not arcing it down at that point, but they're like right there at that point where they're getting ready to. Still sitting in the track. They
Right.
throw it and he's finally got it. Finally got it. But took for it. Like I don't know. I don't If I get into it, I'm going to go down a rabbit hole, and I really don't want to. But I understand. I'll just leave it at this. I
Okay.
understand, wanting to see if the car can refire. But that was ridiculous, and they're really good at being ridiculous. So
Okay.
Eric Jones broke something in the car, so he couldn't move.
All right, Ryan.
All right. So real quick, my green flag on the weekend, I will go ahead and I'll give it to the weather. We have officially made it all but 3 races left in a desert environment in Phoenix, away from having the first season since '94 to go without a single race being delayed to a different day in the Truck, Xfinity, and Cup Series action. Again, dating all the way back to '94, the last time that happened, that we made it through all 3 series every single weekend without a rain delay or without a rain postponement. So, massive credit to the weather for that one. And for the black flag, yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll just give it to the number 41 car for just being an idiot and wrecking a guy after the checkered flag was already out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you have plenty of
Um.
opportunities to have potentially done it during the race, and maybe the penalty is less.
I always say it, but I'm
What is it? What did you say?
I'd say the penalty fits the crime.
Yeah, I'm just saying
Okay.
if you'd wrecked him during the race while they were still racing, because he had multiple opportunities where he could have just put the bumper to him and let him go into the fence. I mean, I wouldn't have liked it any more than that, but there's a chance NASCAR doesn't penalize him as heavily.
Mm. All right. Mine. I would say the overall racing throughout the weekend was good. I think we didn't get too many of the fireworks that Martinsville typically brings out, with the exception of what we've already talked about in the Xfinity series. Um, Nothing really crazy as far as uh, doing what needs to be done to win races. Yes, I mean you could talk about William Byron's move, but I don't think that was anything out of line. Black flag. I will put it on uh, Chase Briscoe's team and JGR for their engines for that weekend. I definitely think that could uh, ruin some momentum for them going into the final weekend, and it's either going to make them even more intense and focused for this weekend, or it's just we're going to look back and look at this race as what disrupted what could have been the perfect cap to an end of a season for JGR. Uh, Before we get into my trivia, Eli, you said you had something you wanted to share.
We also got to do race picks.
okay. All right. Do you
Okay,
want me to
so I
wait
guess
till
we can do
after?
race picks. I thought, yeah, we'll do it after race
Okay.
picks. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Yep, no worries.
All right, Ryan, you got the wheel.
Yeah, give me 2 seconds to get the wheel up. All right. course, it doesn't have any names on it, so that's great. All right, I got it, and I'm ready to spin the wheel.
All right, spin that wheel.
And the first overall pick is gonna go to Brett.
I'm gonna go with Briscoe.
Dang it!
Wow.
He took my pick.
Wow. All right.
All right, spinning the wheel for the second pick. Who's gonna have the second overall pick? And of course, I get picked right after the one guy I wanted to pick gets taken. Byron did me well last week. Do I take him again? I'll go Denny Hamlin. A consistent second or third place should get me the championship here. All right, spinning the wheel
Okay.
for the third time.
All right.
JP, you have your choice of everybody else. Oh, JP literally as it comes to his turn, dips out.
Boy got so excited he dropped his phone.
Do we want to respin and come back to him?
If he joins in, yeah.
That's, oh, he's still here. He just got a black
No.
screen now.
No, he's not in here. I see Eli, you, me, and Brett.
Oh, he's not.
Yeah.
Oh, I still see him for whatever reason.
Oh.
Okay,
right.
go ahead. We'll have to respin then.
Eli is up next. So. Eli.
All right. Who did you pick, Ryan?
The two Toyota championship drivers are out. Briscoe and Hamlin are the two.
Okay. Are we picking for race win or championship winner?
No, it's just race results.
Race win.
So you could take a Blaney,
Race
you
win.
could take a Logano, you could take a Bell if you think they're going to do better than the championship guys.
Yeah, I mean that'd be stupid not to take a Penske driver. Yeah, give me Kyle Busch.
I think that was I think he was a Penske driver back in 2017 for Indy. He was supposed to be a Penske driver that year.
Hey,
Yeah, give me Kyle Busch.
You can't pick out a Penske driver picks an RCR car.
All right, and then the fifth and final pick, Jamie.
I am going to go with.
Oh, and JP just took Larson off the board.
All right. Well, I guess that settles that. You know what? Why not? I'll go for the other championship driver, William Byron.
All right. So all four championship drivers and Kyle Busch are taken. So we'll gather the rest of our race. We'll gather the rest of the race picks in the week coming up. But Eli, you had something you wanted to talk about?
I do. So we had wrapped up a podcast, right? And of course, all of us were on it. And just to make it very brief, I gave my opinions on the Kyle Busch situation. That's what I done. I gave them very bluntly, and I said it how it was. So I'm driving to work the next day, and I'm willing to, I'm always willing and dealing on the marketplace. So this guy on this Facebook group said that he had sent me a message, and I didn't get it. So I was like, okay, let me check my message request, right? So I go check it, and I see I have a message from this guy named Andrew Artrup. And I'm like, I don't know who this is. What it says. Hey, bro, I'm a huge fan of the lap down and listen to it while I'm at work. I really appreciate the honesty because no one else is as blunt as you, and the Kyle Busch mega rant is so real. We really need hope. Please keep it funny and show up more. I've never even heard you talk before on the podcast, but it's effing great. So I thought this was someone trying to mess with me. I thought it was Brett, because Brett was carrying on with it the whole night. So I didn't think anything of it. So I just responded with, oh, yeah, thanks. And he asked, and this account asked if I was going to Martinsville. And I was like, Well, yeah, duh. So, goes quiet, get to the weekend, get to Sunday, and nothing could have prepared me for what was going to happen Sunday. I get a message from him, and he says, "Hey, are you at the race?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Okay, where are you at?" And I said, "I'm in turn 3." And he said, "Okay, come down to the concourse over on the front stretch." So I'm like, "Okay, this is actually a real person." So I was like, "Okay, sure." Nothing could have ever prepared me for it. I got a picture with this guy too. I go, and this guy's holding up a poster board. I see him from a mile away. I mean, it's a bright yellow poster board. You can't miss this guy. So I go up to him, I start talking to him, and on this poster board, there is just Randall Burnett's face glued onto it. And it has things, some of them I can't read, but I'll read a few of them off to you. Randall Burnett, more like a Randall burnout. That one's appropriate to read. Kalbish lost his crew chief, must have been burnt out. Randall's calls were so bad, even the caution lights quit. I could go on. I mean, there's a few of them I can't read. But in the bottom of it, I see Kalbish sign this poster board. And I'm like, well, that's a cool souvenir to have. And this man pulls out a
Yeah.
Sharpie and asks me to sign the poster board. And I was like, you don't want me signing this, dude. I'm not even a celebrity, dude. I'm in the middle of nowhere. Okay, I don't have any credibility to my name. And he's like, no, I want you to sign it. And I was like, are you sober? And he was like, yes. So I signed this man's poster board right beside Calvish's name and got a picture with this dude. I don't know how he found my Facebook. I don't know who he is. I don't know nothing about this guy. But I told him I'd give him a shout out on the podcast. So there you go. I hope that's great. I hope that made your weekend, and I really hope you were sober when you chose me to sign your poster board right beside Calvish's autograph. And I don't know how you got him to sign it in the first place, but that's awesome.
He's probably giggling.
Oh man.
Eli's
Well,
got him. So
what
you
was
tell him.
what was his name?
His name was Andrew Artrip.
Well, shout out to you, Andrew. Thank you for listening to all of us. Uh, and Eli, I'm glad you're here, bud. I really am.
I don't know what I
You
bring
you
so great,
definitely
but
you definitely liven things up a bit. Especially gives us some actual reprieve from some of the crazy things that JP talks about, but we're not going to talk about that, neither here nor there. Um, but we're gonna get things back on track because we gotta finish this thing up before Greg has my tail, because this thing has gone on for an hour and 37 minutes and counting. So we're gonna get this locked in. So my trivia question, and once again, no Googling, no chat GPT, no whatever form of research you can do. You are
Right.
not allowed to have any type of help. Right. JP.
He's not even in here.
Uh
Hell.
oh, you left? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he
We
hasn't
actually
popped
have a
back in
chance.
after he popped out during race picks.
Okay. So the last time that we did not have a Penske driver in the Final Four of the championship race was back in 2021. My question to you guys is, in that race, who scored the most points in that race?
So are you asking who won that race or
No,
who?
he's asking who
No.
scored the most
Who,
points.
who scored the most
what
race
race?
points?
And I would like
2020?
a clarify. I
The
would like a
the
clarifying question.
2021. Go ahead.
Are we counting the fact that the playoff drivers don't actually earn stage points in the races when they're championship eligible? Because technically that would make them
Correct.
ineligible to earn some of those points that they would be running in the positions of.
I am simply looking. I mean, I don't really know the specific. I think they still get the stage points, so we're acting as if everyone still got stage points, because that's how it's calculated up on this spreadsheet, according to JSKI.
I don't even remember
So
who
in
won the
this race,
championship that year.
So that was the Larson championship season. I remember that much.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're welcome. All right. So we're gonna go to Ryan. Then we're gonna go to Eli. Then we're gonna go to Bam. Who scored the highest amount of race points in that race?
Who goes first?
Me.
Ryan?
Ryan.
Nope, there's JP.
Oh, there's JP.
JP was trying to call me just now too. I don't know what he's doing.
I was trying to communicate with you guys that I lost connection.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
we
Well, you're
got
right
that.
here. Yep. So the question to you, to everybody, JP, and you'll go last since you just joined back up. In 2021 was the last time that we had a Penske free Final Four. In that final race in 2021 at Phoenix, who scored the most race points in that race? And no assists, JP. No chat GPT, no asking your mom or your friend or your dad. So Ryan, go ahead and give us your pick.
All right. Well, I don't. I'm just gonna say this right now. I don't think it would be the obvious. I don't think it would be Kyle Larson. I think if you had seen that as the answer, I think you would have moved on to a different trivia question. So I'm gonna say it's not Larson, but instead I'm gonna go ahead and I will say, because that was also not the next gen car. So any of the guys who have had a lot of success with the next gen car.
I got my answer.
I'll go Denny Hamlin. Why not?
All right.
It's probably
He's
not
going
right,
Denny.
but
All right, Bam.
Elliot.
Chase Elliott. All right. Eli.
Man, I have no idea because I'll be honest, this question is outright confusing the crap out of me.
So to kind of help you, the race points are calculated one by the overall finish, kind of like how we do in our season. But then you also get the top 10 gets points. So the stage winner gets 10 points, and the 10th place in each stage gets 1 point.
I guess it's between Truex and Larson, and I don't. I'm gonna say Larson. I have no idea.
All right. He says Larson. JP.
No JP.
yeah, JP
JP
popped
left
back
again.
out. Yeah, he lost connection again. Also, for clarification, I did look it up. At least according to NASCAR.com, the drivers did not, the playoff drivers did not receive their the stage points. That way, the winner takes all maintains its effect. So the
Well,
playoff drivers were not
I'll be more than happy to share. Yep, I'll be more than happy to share what I was looking at.
Yeah,
That way, once I tell you the answer, you'll see what I was basing it off of.
yeah.
So, according to driveraverages.com on JSKI's website, you are all incorrect. The driver that collected the highest amount of race points, which is a grand total of 43 points, is Happy Kevin Harvick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is factoring in the championship four drivers did not earn any stage points because Kyle Larson only missed that mark by 3 points despite his finishing position, and he finished fifth in stage one and won stage two. So that would have been an additional 15 points on Larson's score if he had earned those. But he was in the championship four, so he was ineligible for points.
All right. Well, I'm gonna post this in the lap down chat. That way, you guys can see that. But with that being said, I think this was a great podcast, guys. I definitely enjoy getting on with you guys, and I look forward to talking about the recap of the NASCAR season, the recap of championship weekend, and how did it shake out? who made the pivotal mistake and who ultimately seized their glory and became the what's known as champion. Um, Thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to the Alkali Project for doing the theme to our podcast as usual. And as for Ryan, Eli, Bam, I am Jamie, and we will see you next week. Deuces.